Young men, young ladies, what are you chasing after? What captivates you? What do you give your time, your talent, and your treasure to? Are you a God chaser? And I share with you the story about my husband. He had an agenda, he had a purpose, and he achieved it
Oh
too.
yeah, oh yeah.
No regrets.
The braids.
I ran.
But now he's a God chaser.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Amen. I like to think on the pathway to chasing God, I was caught up in there.
Yeah, you was caught up in there. Real quick.
But for real, he was chasing after God. Okay. All right. A God chaser. So a kingdom woman is a wise woman. A kingdom woman is a God chaser.
Yeah.
And I want to share today even more so. A kingdom woman is a prayer warrior.
Woo!
A prayer warrior.
Oh, come on and work
A
this.
kingdom woman is a prayer warrior. In James chapter 5, verse 16, it says, the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man, and I'm going to throw in a righteous woman, availeth much. Prayer changes things. Okay, there's different types of prayers: secret prayer, family prayer, group prayer, public prayer like we have here. But I want to talk about personal prayer, your relationship with God. A kingdom woman is a prayer woman. She spends time with God. She chases after God. She knows God through His Word. She has a relationship with God, and she is a woman of prayer. God says there's so many times when I would seek to avert things from happening, but there's nobody standing in the gap. Nobody is there to ask me to do it. Do you know that you can intervene in the lives of people?
Oh,
do you know you can change people's lives through your prayers? My husband and I, we like to believe that, for example, we told you about our son who was in Iraq for 2 tours. He drives a truck. He's a truck driver. Now the enemy would just try to feed, all this information, concerning, they're blowing up trucks and everything, He's going to be driving from here to there, and, there's those hidden bombs all over the place, You're going to have to forget about it. You're going to be burying your son. I didn't allow that to penetrate my heart. I did not allow it. But I didn't have peace about him going either. But then I believe the Lord dropped this in my spirit, and He showed me how to pray. I said, God, you had an only son too. Matthew is our only son. You had one too. And you gave us a promise for that boy. You shared things with us that you wanted Matthew Wheatley to fulfill. Well, God, he hasn't fulfilled those things in his life. And you are not an unjust God. You are a God of justice, a God of balance. It will be unfair for your son to fulfill his purpose and my son not to fulfill his. And the minute I prayed, the peace of God was shed abroad in my heart. I had peace. I had peace. Did the enemy still try to send all these things? Yes, he did. But they would not penetrate. They could not penetrate.
That's right.
I had the peace of God. Matthew Wheatley went to Iraq, drove his truck, did his business, came back to Germany. We thought we could exhale after that. Oh, thank God. He's done. We get another call. Mom, Dad, I'm going back. At first, I started to panic, but then I had some history. I recalled what he did before, the first time. And he will do it again. And he did do it again. We prayed that prayer. Okay, God, you kept that boy through those dangerous times, those dangerous situations. You'll keep him again. Well, yes, and God did.
Yes.
Matthew Wheatley did another tour, a second tour in Iraq. And today he's back in the States. He's stateside. He's in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. God honors prayer.
Yes.
He wouldn't have honored all my tears and panicking. Oh God, he's going to die. Oh Lord, oh my God. Oh God, what's going to happen to him? No. That ain't what the word said. No. No. I stood on the word.
Yes.
God honors his promises.
Yes, he does.
You made some promises to us, Father, concerning this boy.
Yes.
And first of all, I just want to really just hammer in a point. You can pray to God and he'll answer your prayer.
Yes. Yes.
Matthew Wheatley, he didn't come through this body. He's not my son that I gave birth to. But I told the Lord, I said, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want him to look like then. Okay. Bishop and I went through the whole adoption process, and the way they were doing it back then, they gave you several books. You flip through the pages, pick out a child. That's how it was. We flipped through some pages. We picked out a child. We thought that was the child that God wanted us to have. It didn't work out. Our caseworker gave us a call, told us about Matthew. His name means gift of God also. We have a young man available, a baby available for you all. But before that, I told God, I said, all right, I want Matthew to have, curly brown hair. I want him to have brown eyes. And I want him to be left-handed like his father. Okay? Just little stupid stuff, stupid. But when we saw Matthew Wheatley had curly brown hair. Matthew Wheatley has brown eyes. And the clincher is that boy is totally left-handed, left-footed. Those 3 little details that I prayed about, God honored it. I'm telling you, God honors prayer. He says, if you delight yourself in me, I'll give you the desires of your heart, no matter how stupid they are. At that point, that's silly. But it proved to me, wow. If you took the time to number every little hair on my head, certainly you will honor my request. God is good. So a kingdom woman is a prayer warrior.
That's good.
She's known as a praying woman. She doesn't have a life of prayer. A prayer life, I'm sorry. She doesn't have a prayer life, but she has a life of prayer. Okay? Her life is consists of prayer. Do I pray all the time, 24/7? No. That's not what I'm saying. But I have a life of prayer. I'm always talking to the Lord.
Right.
When I get up in the morning. And again, like I said, it's such a blessing to hear my husband pray over me. He takes charge. He takes responsibility for me before I leave out to go to work. That's the kind of man you want, ladies. But anyhow, a praying woman, a kingdom woman is a praying woman. She's the one who's willing to stand in the gap. She's the one who is willing to intercede for someone else. She will do it. And God will answer. God will answer that prayer. The Word of God also talks about we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. This kingdom woman can deal with the spiritual wickedness.
Yes.
She can deal with the principalities. She's a prayer warrior. The Word of God says, this kingdom woman, she can pull down mighty strongholds. She can cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. A prayer warrior. A prayer warrior.